I'm 28, my name's Lee, and I work as an office assistant. So my day-to-day roles really lie with direction from fee earners, paralegals and any other support staff in the firm. I mainly work in the corporate department here at Higgs. Mainly tasks that I do are creating Bibles and bundles of documents, whether that be scanning them in, obtaining new documents from the other side, so another solicitors. A lot of my role is mainly helping out departments, so be it more mundane tasks like collecting post. I've already mentioned scanning, but topping up paper, making sure that the printers are all filled, making sure that everyone has stationery, and just ensuring that the background of the office is filled up. I got recruited into the corporate team, so that's mainly businesses. However, if I'm not that busy, then we've got an office assistant team, and we all work in different teams in different departments. So if they need help, then I'll go and help them. So there is a lot of flexibility for me to go and help out in wills and trusts or property or etc. etc. To be fair, this is one of the first legal jobs I've actually ever gotten. I started my legal career per se at the university. I did an undergrad in law and then progressed on to do the LPC. I found that I really enjoyed law. I enjoyed pretty much every aspect of it, the information, learning, and the satisfaction most of the time with taking, especially in the department that I'm in now, a customer through a completion. So if they were to buy something, then I'd be able to learn exactly what they're buying, take them all through that, and then at the end of it, see it's sort of like an end result of that happening. So yeah, mainly from university. Especially with the lecturers at university, a lot of them were actually lawyers themselves. At least half of them were, paralegal or solicitors above, and they'd actually retired from that and going to teach. So it was quite helpful going to talk to them after like a lesson and see what they found and helped. A couple of skills that I would say are actually necessary are to be organised. I find it's easy to carry around a diary or at least a notepad. In this role you get given that many tasks and that many deadlines. There's no way that one person can remember it by just remembering it. So organisation is definitely a key skill that I would recommend. Qualifications, not really. You can actually learn quite a lot whilst you're doing this job. The university undergrad is a 3-year. You do have the option to take law with a subject, and a lot of people took it with another language, but you can also take it with business. I think that if you want to go and work in a law firm though, the majority of the people do actually prefer if you take a qualifying law degree, which basically means that it's the en route path to take if you want to become a solicitor. There are different avenues that incorporate law, like the criminal justice, but you'll have to check if those qualify. There's a lot of stuff at university that you learn which is all theory, and when in practice you kind of don't know what to do. But there's a lot of information, especially in my department, to do with businesses that I can recall. So quite a few years ago now, but it's still actually useful. I found most of my university notes, believe it or not, when I was tidying up the house, and some of them are actually really, really useful now. Even, especially with business law, you've got things like how to incorporate a business, what an MRO1 form is, what an SHO1 form is, so for things like shareholders, and Whilst I don't have direct contact with setting one up, I do have to like maybe edit one or send one off to company's house, and it's really interesting to think that it wasn't wasted, it is actually useful. Keep it simple, pretty much everybody. In my role, I liaise with the post room, the postman. There's a task that I have to do called, which is called archiving. So I'll send old files back to being kept in storage. So I have to liaise with them. Pretty much everybody. That's why organisation's really key, because there's that many people that you need to learn the names of to not seem rude. You need to write it all down. My role primarily is just me in my department. So I'm the only go-to person for my duties. I know that in many law firms, bigger or smaller, and even in our different departments, there are more than one. So I think it just depends on the workload of each department. To be honest, there is so much progression in this role, it's hard to just put into a sentence. I mean, if you wanted to go into a clear path, if you wanted to be a solicitor, then the role I'm doing is pretty much recommended. If you've never worked in a law firm, I've learned so much. I'd say the next route up is paralegal. And then if you were to do the postgraduate LPC course, then you can get onto a training contract and then become a trainee and then become a solicitor and so on and so on. If you didn't want to do that route, there's the opposite route where you can qualify as a legal executive, and that's another great path that you don't have to go to uni for. As long as you've got your undergraduate degree, you don't have to do a postgrad. There's so many routes that you can grow from it. I think that there's a lot of postgraduate opportunities. With law, there's doors that open to everything. You've only got to do a Google search, and there's so many things there. The things that really pulled me were things like a conveyancer. So what a conveyancer is obviously a property solicitor that will help you move house, be it commercial or residential. You can even go outside of the law and work in the courts, or there's loads of opportunities. So the postgraduate, it doesn't restrict you from doing something else. You can go into teaching. I found it a really good course to do. What I find most satisfying about my job is actually helping people. I've got a history with service, so in my previous jobs I learned a lot about how to handle people, how to manage people, and how to provide a good service to people. And here at Higgs they do really well with that, so it's something I can play a pivotal role in. When I mentioned about the job description itself, just a simple task by making sure something's scanned in correctly really helps the fee earners get ready for like an upcoming meeting, or going to get new work. So that sort of sense of satisfaction, I suppose, really helps out. I find most challenging that it's always a learning curve. You'll never come into the same day of work. Even if it's the same task, there will always be something different. So it's kind of like getting over that, what seems like a mountain, is getting over that and learning from it. But what I can take from the challenging parts of my job is that I've always learned it. So if it was to ever come up again, I'll be able to do it again. The only thing that I'd say is don't put too much pressure on yourself, because it might look really daunting from the outside. Obviously looking inside to a legal firm, you think, black ties, red ties, everyone's all prim and proper, shirts ironed. Just make sure your shirt is ironed, but everything else, it's not actually that bad. It's quite lean, it's quite flexible. As long as you have, like I mentioned, organisational skills and you can actually sit and listen and learn, then you'll go far. The majority of my jobs, as mentioned, were service-based. So I've worked in establishments such as JD Witherspoon's, where I got up to shift leader. So that's where my managing of people came from. and really working well within a team. I've had a lot of retail jobs. Just to name a few, I've worked in Republic, I've worked in River Island, so a lot of clothes-based. And I've even worked in call centres as well. So I've had quite an eclectic, let's say, taste in roles. So it's not just been one straight route into law. In school, I wasn't exactly disruptive, I will be honest, but I wasn't there to listen, I wasn't there to learn, I was there as sort of like, I had to be there, which is unfortunate because if I was to go back now, it's the age-old sort of cliche. If I was back at school now, I'd probably like really enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really enjoy school, but I did enjoy some subjects. So I enjoyed, because law wasn't introduced at school, it was introduced in college for myself. I wasn't pulled towards that yet, so I chose things like geography, maths, PE, and sociology as well. And those are the ones that I picked towards GCSE levels as well. When I joined college, and after the talks that we had initially going in on the open day, I chose law as sort of like, I really enjoyed sociology and the people's backgrounds and all information. So I thought law might be exactly the same, and to be honest, it turned out a lot better. For someone that I myself think I can take in a lot of information and I can do a lot of self-research. So law was one that really allowed that. During secondary school, I didn't have a very good time there. As I mentioned, one of my family members passed away, so I didn't do most of my exams. At that point, I gave up. I decided to go in late and do some exams. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. This was before I even chose law, and I ended up coming out with the worst results I've ever had, like U's, E's, D's, and it was very disappointing. So I decided to go back the next year as sort of like a mature secondary school student, which was weird, but I got to go back in my own clothes and things like that. But long story short, I resat all of my exams and I managed to get back on track. I didn't let anything sort of like faze me and get to me. I thought, yeah, something bad's happened, but I can fix it. I won't just leave it and think I'm not good enough to do that now. So I went back and I did it, and that got me to here now.